and my pituitary gland. As they're talking and they're saying, they're asking, oh my God, you were working, you were driving, you were doing this, you did, and I was like, well, yeah, but I had a headache for a year, and I have thought, I thought I had sinuses, and I thought my eyes were changing, and I thought it was menopause, and I was having seizures, but we don't call things seizures. In fact, even now I have to tell the doctors, because I've learned from the other meningioma mamas, don't downplay what they are. The doctors call my seizures spells. They're not really seizures. It's only a seizure if you fall on the floor and flop around. And so to downplay them, then, had I known what to do 3 years now ago, when I had these weird smells, at least once a day, perfect same smell, and I'd be like, what is that? I thought if it was in my house, I thought it must be a gas smell or some weird smell. It would happen other places. And I started thinking, maybe I should ask somebody about this. Well, they don't have a smell doctor. It didn't even occur to me that it had something to do with neurons and all that kind of stuff, because we don't talk about brain tumors or brain cancer. So in hindsight, then, I'm seeing that I had a ton of symptoms, but didn't have a clue that put together. The good news is the doctor that I saw did. It was enough for her to go, if all of this is happening, I think we need to do this. And that was a good thing. Hi. Come on in. So then, so now it's cancer. There's that whole thing. After surgery, now what they decided is that pathology is positive for residual tumors. So this is what is left out of this. But they didn't tell me what that means either. They didn't say, they put me on anti-seizure medication after surgery because that's what you do, but they didn't say you'll probably have epilepsy for the rest of your life. Instead, they led me to believe that I was just having spells. Well, no, that's a lie, because I lie a lot. I can't. I have a brain tumor. Yeah. So what they did is they said, you might need to see a psychologist. Hello, come on in. You might need to see a psychologist. In fact, why don't we set you up with a psychiatrist? In fact, why don't we put you on Zyprexa? Because it seems like there's something more going on with you. Hello, you just messed with my brain for 8 hours. You rearranged the furniture up there. The picture of my brain, you know how you have the right and the left? My right brain had pushed so far into my left brain that there was a C. There's nothing wrong, well, yeah, there was a little something wrong with my brain. There's nothing wrong with my head, and that's where they kept pushing me, was to the psychologist. And I'm sure, in fact, you have a story of someone who died because they wouldn't believe them, because they wouldn't believe that there was more to the story than that. Yeah. So, does anybody know what I was just talking about?
You pretty much went Zyprexa.
Zyprexa and all of the medication, but they didn't tell me that I would probably, in fact, they kept saying that they couldn't believe I was having, they said up to 6 months to recover is all that it would really be. They couldn't believe I was even having seizures. Having connected with meningioma mamas, these are women that have lived with meningiomas for years, and they are epileptic. So the best news of all was for me to go, okay, I will be epileptic for the rest of my life. That's okay. Just tell me that so I can go with that and know, instead of keep trying to figure out what's going on. Why am I having all of these weird things happening? And every time something bizarre happens, I call the doctor and then they laugh at me. In fact, for the year before, or as I suppose the brain tumor was taking up residency, I had a red dot in the middle. Remember that? In the middle here. I'd cover it every single day because I'd be like, what the heck? Is this an age spot? I didn't know. I brought it up to my neurologist here, and I said, I see that spot is coming back. Does that, should we do an MRI? Can we just put an MRI machine in my kitchen? Let's just have it. I don't use my kitchen, right? Tortoises do. I don't need it. Let's just park one right there. Actually, that was recommended, not the kitchen thing, but MRIs, once they figured out that there was still tumor left, was recommended that I have MRIs every 3 months. I'm like, recommended? How about, oh, I can't swear because you have that thing. How about mandatory?
You can swear.
Recommended, okay, yeah. But that, it's like, are you kidding me? So, help me.
Mandatory MRI is fine before I have an MRI.
Right, so then I wasn't going to use names, but since you did, so the neurologist here said, yeah, that's what I call all my zits too.
Oh, crap.
What? I'm telling you, this was a symptom that I had pre-diagnosis. It looks like it's coming back. We should look at this, don't you think? You have to really be an advocate for your own health care through everything. Had I not pushed and pushed and pushed to figure out the right medication and not keep taking different medication, I think I would still be a wreck more than I am. I just happen to be offline now. I don't know why that is.
I've seen you worse.
I know you have seen worse. The good news is that I don't second guess anymore. I just know that now's not a good time to drive. Or now is not a good time to take on the grandkids or something. But I can adjust and I can accept as long as someone is telling me this is going to happen. This is a normal part of recovery, or this is the new normal for the rest of my life. So then,
Don't sit down, your chair's not behind you.
so then they say, right, so now I'm going to have radiation. And they said, but first you have to do simulation therapy. And I don't know what simulation therapy is. Plus I just had a brain tumor partially removed. Simulation therapy is a nice word for, here you go, Mrs. Kelly, and this I always say too. They always called me Mrs. Kelly. I could never be just Joan. I was like, dude, you were messing in my head for 8 hours. I think we have a personal relationship here. You can call me Joan.
And they called you Mrs. instead of
And they always called me Mrs. Do you not notice that I don't have some dude hanging out eating the food off my plate every day? I am not a Mrs. Yes. So that was simulation therapy is a nice word when they get you ready for radiation. It's a nice word for, we're going to have you lay here, and then we're going to put hot plastic on your face. And now, mind you, I've got 52 staples in my head, right? Just that, and then we're going to push it so it fits. I know, right? And so it fits every little part of your face. And I freaked out. I freaked out. Get it off of me! Get it off of me! Oh, just settle down, Mrs. Kelly. Settle down. Finally, my oncologist came in and said, get it off of her. I think he saw I was going to, I was still on steroids. I was going to hurt people. So they took it off, and we had to redo it because that was the big problem. The one, like, we're going to have to start all over again. Okay, so this is simulation therapy. And then the good news, not really good news, but this is how they said, now the next time that I come for radiation, this is part of the table, right? So this is fit right onto the radiation table. I lay my pretty little head down there, and then they put this on top, and they bolt me to the table by my head. And then they say, now just relax. Just relax. Listen to this lovely music. And then they strap. Well, no, they don't strap me, and they just give me they gave me this little donut thing to hold on to.
They did strap your ankle, no?
No, they just tied them together. So, because all I kept thinking is, okay, so what if I have a seizure? My head is bolted to the head. What if I do have one of those floppy kinds, and then I do flop off the table? Oh, no, don't worry, Mrs. Kelly, we'll be right across the hall. We can see you. So you can come in and mop up the blood, like Monty Python, oh, just a little flesh wound. Right? No big deal here. So much of the time was spent relaxing and learning how to breathe and learning how to just, this is what you have, this is what you have to do. And this is how you do it. Hey, these are cool. I've got to show you these. When I had my staples done, and I couldn't wear glasses with a wing on this side, so I always had my little.